Hello, everyone, and I want to thank you all for joining me tonight on the Royce in the House YouTube channel, where we now have 277 videos available for you to watch it anytime you'd like. Come on over to the channel. There's several playlists. Watch some of the videos. If you like what you see, please do us a proper and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. It just helps the show to continue growing. So thank you all so much. Tonight we're going to be talking about the absolute masterpiece, the Beatles album Abbey Road, which turned 54 last week. 54 years old since Abbey Road was released, which I find absolutely amazing. Let me say hi to a couple of folks before we really get into it. Hey, Dr. Rick, good to see you, brother. Eric Schultz is here, and of course, Caitlin and Steve Midthum and Robbie Detroit, a couple of my old friends. And then we've got, we'll be getting joined, I believe, by David, Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. He was over at the Austin album show, buying music that he'll be showing for a while now on his channel. So everybody get over and check out Safe and Sound Audio, Safe and Sound Texas Audio. It's David. And David's got a great channel, super smart guy. He knows all the in-depth audiophile, the best recordings of every album ever made. He really goes through all that stuff in detail on his channel, and he's a great guy to listen to. And he comes on a co-host with us. In fact, I was expecting him to maybe be ready to come on now. So anyway, in the meantime, we're gonna continue with the show here. And the Beatles Abbey Road was released 54 years ago, September 26th, 1969. Few albums will ever be as widely appreciated as the great Abbey Road, from its front cover to its sheer genius that exudes from each and every track. Abbey Road is truly a perfect creation. Any way you look at it, for that, you have producer George Martin to thank. He's the one that held it all together at the twilight of the Beatles' career, working together. Okay, so as many of you know, tensions were running high between the members of the Beatles toward the end of the 60s. Okay, the Beatles were quite literally the most popular craze in all of human history. Okay. And so no wonder the fame got to their heads, especially as the chaotic world continued to inspire their creativity, the psychedelic period and on and on. By the end of the 60s, John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr were just too famous of artists to work under the direction of one another. Okay. Some blame Yoko Ono. Okay. Though her role in the band's demise was more symbolic than realistic. Lennon was fascinated by her avant-garde art. And who's going to tell John Lennon not to pursue his artistic direction, right? Okay. So anyway, let's see. What do we got going on in the chat here, folks? We'll just check in here for a minute. Robbie Detroit's Tiger Man vinyl. Let's see. Let's get Oh, Manny's here. Okay, let's get a couple of comments going here. We'll pause periodically and try to keep up with the chat. I really enjoy and appreciate. James Watson's here. Good to see you, brother. My old friend Robbie Detroit. Caitlin's Magical Corner. You've all got to go subscribe to Caitlin's Magical Corner. She goes twice weekly, and she's doing a wonderful job. I go in every time I can. Oftentimes, her schedule in the middle of the afternoon conflicts with my work schedule. Speaking of work, I find the right hand looking in this thing. Okay, I got hurt at work this week. I was working underneath a deck, and I had a Sawzall overhead, just a foot above my face. And it finally popped out of where I was cutting, and the blade was burning hot. And so that Sawzall blade laid across my face and burnt it. All in a day's work, it'll heal just fine. It looks a lot worse today than it has since it happened, but we're all good. So Steve Midthum, one of my first albums I bought I was 17 when it came out. That's great. That's a great story, Steve. And Caitlin, Maniv Abbey Road was a first LP I ever owned. No kidding. You know, my first word, I bought them both at the same time, was 16 years old. I had a 55 Chevy. I just finished putting my 8-track tape deck in it with my light bar beneath the dash that pulsated with the beat. And I heard the Cream, Disraeli Gears, and I heard Creedence Bayou Country, and I just lost my mind. My whole listening direction changed, and I raced down to the local music store and bought the Cream, Disraeli's Gears and Bayou Country by Creedence, both of which I still listen to often all these years later. Okay, so let's get back to the show, and then we'll check back in with the chat. Okay, so the band had this came as an odd statement when I first read it. The White Album was really the first sign of the band's decay. Decay, I love the White Album, but as the release was more of a collection of solo albums than it was a cohesive release like Revolver or Sgt. Pepper's. Okay, and I get that. I totally get that. The band had tried to rally for Let It Be, which was recorded actually in the early part of '69 before Abbey Road, but ultimately released after it in 1970. The Let It Be plans were too extravagant to ever materialize, okay? So instead, they just played one last public appearance on the rooftop of Apple Records, okay? So the original plans didn't come to fruition there. Okay, so let's check in here again a little bit. James Watson, you should see the other guy. Right. Caitlin, Jeff Davidson's in here. It looks like I must have missed him up above. Man of many voices. Hey, Paulina, how you doing, Paulina? I know you're a massive Beatles fan, no more than I'll ever know. Why don't you just I'll put up a link, and if you want to jump on and help out, I would sure appreciate it. Okay. Oh God. All right, I just put the link up. Paulina, hey, the R&B show. Bruce, I've been looking for you, buddy. I've got that link up. You said you were going to try to make it. Hadn't co-hosted in a while, so get on in here, brother. You and Paulina. Todd Patterson, right here. That's my that is my nephew, and he's a fantastic musician. Please look up Todd Patterson, Masquerade. He's always putting just awesome songs on YouTube. And he's really talented. He plays all the instruments himself. He does all the singing himself. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's continue. Hopefully we'll be joined soon. Oh, we've got Sean. Sean just joined us. Thanks a lot, brother. Talking about Abbey Road, 54-year anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, both, of Abbey Road. Okay, so let's see. All right. Well, things were, as I was saying, things were in disarray. George Martin and the whole team wanted to give the fans one last true Beatles album, okay? Through his incredible efforts, Abbey Road was created from a collection of music that was all written and recorded individually. The music is incredible, with Lennon's Come Together opening the album and Harrison's Something offering the band's trademark sound. A full track-by-track breakdown of Abbey Road is unnecessary at this point. It's only been 54 years, right, of its existence. I'm guessing that many of you have listened to it, may know it as well as I do. Okay, we've got a couple of people joining us here. Hey, Bruce, the R&B show.
Long time no see, my friend.
Been a long time. Good to see you, brother. Hey, everybody,
too.
Go check out Bruce's show, the R&B show. I know you probably don't like it when I say this, but R&B is not for rhythm and blues. It's for Ron and Bruce. I always have to throw that in, but check them out. They've got a great show. Bruce is a great guy, very, very knowledgeable. And I'm really glad he finally showed up to co-host. And then we have my good friend, David Bianco. How you doing, David? Are you in your car driving? Oh, yeah, your volume's not coming through. No, not yet.
There
No,
we go.
there we go. Right on, brother. So
I am just parked in the parking lot.
and you know what? We appreciate you doing that. I thought it might be something like that because you were in Austin at the record show, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I watched a video of you being there and enjoyed it and commented on it. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, I've been looking forward to getting you back on because I know you and the Beatles, and you know so much about the Beatles. So anyway, I'll get working on my little monologue here a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
And so prior to September 26th, most people in the world were unaware that Abbey Road was the location of EMI's London recording studios. But this was at a time, of course, when it was a little of importance where the studios were, where the stuff was being recorded to most fans. Ironically, given the album's title, not all of Abbey Road was recorded at Abbey Road Studios. And in truth, the title is as much about the street and the zebra crossing outside as it is about the studio itself. But when it's all said and done, the album is for many, and I know, Bruce, I've heard you say this, the absolute pinnacle of the Beatles' achievements. All this despite having been recorded as the band was breaking up amid internal strife and bitterness. So anyway, Abbey Road was the 11th studio album and the very last to be recorded. The 12th and last released studio album, Let It Be, was mostly recorded prior to this record. Rolling Stone magazine called it complicated instead of complex. The Record Mirror said that Abbey Road was every bit as good as the last 3 albums by the Beatles. History, too, has been kind, with many now citing Abbey Road as their favorite Beatles album. And, you know, after listening to it back-to-back twice today, and 2 days ago, listened to it, I think, twice also, I'm telling you, man, it's really having a powerful effect on me. It's moved way up my ladder. You know, I mean, it is an amazing album. Well, what makes Abbey Road a masterpiece? Well, the breadth of the musical vision, the sheer scale of the band's collective musical imagination, and the audacity of it all at a time when the Beatles were coming to the end of their time. That's pretty amazing, actually. And then there's the 2 George Harrison masterpieces. And this is a little bit of a funny story here. Here Comes the Sun and Something both rank alongside the best songs the band has ever recorded. Something is sublime, the perfect love song, and John Lennon's actual favorite track on the album. Frank Sinatra, old Blue Eyes himself, described it as the greatest love song ever written, while also erroneously saying it was his favorite Lennon-McCartney composition.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. Okay, so let's see now. Oh my God. Okay, so side 2's 15-minute medley begins with "You Never Give Me Your Money." My wife always says the same thing.
Yeah, really. I was going to say that.
Okay. A Paul McCartney song, and it transitions beautifully into Sun King, which was written by John and features John, Paul, and George's impeccable harmonies. And if the Beatles were known for anything, it was their harmonizing. They were just incredible harmonizing. From there, the medley runs into 2 more Lennon songs, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polyethylene Pam, both written in India, of all places. Of course, they spent a lot of time there. Both written in India. Then it's quadruple shot. Then it's a quadruple shot from McCartney. She came in through the bathroom window, The Beautiful Golden Slumbers, Carry the Weight, which includes elements from You Never Give Me Your Money, before the medley closes with The End. And anyway, opinion is divided among some fans and critics about some of the remaining tracks. However, there is no disputing the power, no denying the magnificence of 2 of John Lennon's compositions. Come Together is one of the greatest opening tracks on any albums. Likewise, I Want You, She's So Heavy, just takes the band to a place they've never been before, just towering. Okay. What do you think, Bruce? I know you are a huge fan of this album.
Yeah, always have been. You know, as a second generation fan, this was actually one of the first ones that I bought with my own kind of pocket money. So I've always had an affection for it. But I
Right?
mean, there's no disputing all of the things that you mentioned. You know, I mean, I think
Yeah.
it was obvious following, you know, what we've seen with like, you know, the Get Back, Let It Be period that everyone kind of agreed, let's kind of be on our best behavior. Let's give it like one last college try. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
even though there's kind of like, I guess different stories on this, like whether they knew it was going to be the last or whether it was not going to be, whether they're going to carry on or not.
Right.
You know, it does
Right.
have the feeling of this like majestic swan song. And I think for McCartney,
No,
it's
that's well
triumph.
put. Yeah, majestic swan song.
Yeah, I mean, it's like name me a better swan song, you know, by
Yeah.
any of our major acts, you know. So I
No,
mean, it
no.
has a bit of everything that they do well. And the other thing that I'm always amazed by this album is you consider the recording span of the Beatles, like that 8-year recording span.
Yes.
I mean, think of how different this album is from their debut. And it's only like, you know, again, 8 years, but it's incredible, like what had transpired within that time frame, which shows you how compressed that time frame was. I mean, so
Oh,
much.
I know. That's
So,
what people forget, just how much music they put out in a few short years.
yeah, and McCartney's writing was really peaking here. I feel like John outclassed him a bit on the White Album. I thought like John's stuff was phenomenal on that, but I feel like Paul here was really shines, you know. And of course, we have the great George Harrison tracks, as you mentioned.
Right.
John's tracks are great. You know, it's got the ensemble playing more so than on the White Album again. So
Right. Right.
it's just a beautiful album, and it's aged very well. I think it's aged better than
aged
Pepper,
very.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's aged
So,
very well.
yeah.
Very well. Yeah, I was really digging it today. So David, how are things going with you? How do you rank Abbey Road, my friend?
Number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
And I think you said the same thing, Bruce, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
always been number one for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I have to throw it out there too, since I've asked both of you. I'm not sure it's my number one. It's really growing on me, and who knows what I might say 6 months to a year from now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I have to like, I'm not sure this is even a fair comparison. I used to go out to my older brother's house when I was 15 years old, and we'd listen to Sergeant Pepper's, and that was like his favorite album. And me and my friends, one of them finally got a car, a little bit older than me, and we could actually drive there and not hitchhike to Las Vegas to my brother's house. But anyway, we'd go out there and listen to music and sit around, and enjoy ourselves. And I became, I was 15 years old, right? And I mean, Sergeant Pepper's is just burned into my brain, after all those times of going out there and listening to it over and over again, along with some other stuff. I mean, we listened to the Cream and, Blind Faith. In fact, my brother for my 16th birthday bought me the only Blind Faith album, that was ever put out. And I still have that today, and I still have the Sergeant Pepper's that he owned that we listened to out there. And it's really beat up. I had to buy a new one, but I didn't mind doing that. But so anyway, so David, so you're ranking it as number one. I still have to edge it out, with the Sergeant Pepper's for now.
Yeah, sure.
But I'll be content, and I'm sure you guys have switched over the years too.
Well, that's the beauty of the Beatles catalog, is that you don't have that consensus.
Right.
And that to me is always a great sign of like our most canonical bands, is if you have a catalog that's diverse enough where people have different favorites. That's an incredible achievement in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a couple of bands. I mean, Led Zeppelin too.
Yeah.
I've switched multiple times. I never thought I'd like anything better than Led Zeppelin 2, both of which came out. I think I was a junior in high school. 1 and 2 came out in '69. And then it wasn't long before we had 3. I was still in high school, and a lot of people didn't like 3. Most of my friends didn't like 3, but I'd already bought the 8-track, so I was locked in. And I listened to it going to school and back every day, and started listening to it after school in the evenings, and grew to love Led Zeppelin 3, which has since become, I think, 7 times multi-platinum. But it was very unpopular when it first came out. In fact, a lot of my Vegas friends were all going to this trade school out in Vegas for our high school. And a lot of them didn't like two. They thought two was a sellout for commercial success. You know, they were like hardcore, you know, one fans, and they liked two, but not as much as one. Three came out. They were never going to listen to it again after the first time. I'm sure they all have it in their collections today, but it's just one of those things. And four comes out, and then, you know, House is the Holy, and it's like you can switch around there too, you know, pretty easily.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and three was like probably lost when we look at it with history. You know, the hindsight of that. That was probably one of the
Yeah.
best things they did for themselves in terms of, you know, career wise, because it widened the palette and it bought them a much larger landscape in which to play in. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
switching back to Abbey Road for a second, you know, part of what has happened for me with that is as I matured, I started to see that album more in the context of their history and their ending. To
Okay.
me,
That's interesting.
it really has that mature culmination of effort. Side two, I've always thought of side two as a little bit of a mosaic, almost like a something where you had these artists and they each got a chance to crochet part of a blanket. And they did them independently. And when
That's
you got
cool.
it together at the end, you looked at it and you said, that is fabulous. But none of them really did it to synergize with the other per se.
yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
So, and I think they really did know. I think the end is the song at the end, technically for a reason. I think that's very, I don't know, that
Okay.
can't be
Yeah,
coincidence.
no, that's an interesting. I hadn't even thought about that, but you're probably right.
Yeah. So it really, for me, and the fact that, and then because of that album and because of George's writing, I really gained a lot of respect for George and a lot more understanding of his role in the band. And, you know, because he was always kind of in the background a bit, uh, you know,
Right. Right.
so there were just a lot of great things that came out of that album. And some of the drumming Ringo does is so like decision oriented that he did certain things a certain way, like on Come Together with some of the hi-hat hits and that. I don't think that
Right.
was written
Okay.
into it. I think that was a feeling.
Yeah. Have we had a live show since I went to the Jason Bonham an evening with Led Zeppelin? That was last Sunday. No, I had a live show on
No,
Saturday
no, because
because of
you
that
moved your
show.
show because of that, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I got to tell everybody that was an absolutely excellent, excellent concert.
Great.
And you know, and he did Jason. His band was so good. I mean, literally, you could close your eyes and you're listening to Led Zeppelin. I mean, so superior to any what I would say a tribute band would be. But
Yeah.
anyway, what was also interesting is this opening band came out. This young, super charismatic guy dancing around the stage, a lot of stage presence, and he eventually thanked his dad, Jason Bonham, for letting him open for him. And that was John Bonham's grandson that opened there, Jason
wow.
Bonham's son. And he put on a hell of a show. I expect to see great things from him. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. If you get a chance, go see it. We were at actually posted the show on Facebook, and it's still on there. The entire show, I filmed it.
Oh,
But
you're kidding.
no, I filmed I did the same thing with Alice Cooper about a year and a half ago. I filmed the entire 2 hours and put it on Facebook. But
Wow.
anyway, so it was just a great show. I was just blown away. The seats weren't that expensive, maybe 65, $75. We're down on the floor. We're close to the stage. And this is a Vina Robles amphitheater at a winery. And there are no such thing as a bad seat, you know, I mean, they're all good. So I just wanted to mention to Paulina that I did put a link back up. I know you're a huge Beatles fan, and I'm sure you've got a lot to say. And Paulina put up a nice list of ranking her Beatles albums. I left it up for quite a while for her.
Now
For all of us.
I looked at a collection in Houston today of Beatles stuff.
Oh, you said something about a collection. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got and I don't know how well this will show up, but the anthology album, I got two of the
Oh,
three
okay.
sealed.
Oh,
Sealed.
wow.
Okay.
I got
Wow,
number
that's
2 and 3,
awesome.
so I got to get number 1. So those I haven't seen anywhere.
I know. I've been
Yeah,
hoping for
yeah.
reissues of those on vinyl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that would be nice, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't have any of those, and I love the covers, the cover artwork.
Yeah, I picked up an interesting album today. I'm going to do a little short 8 or 10 minute thing midweek. It was the Beatles before they were ever signed playing at Hamburg, Germany,
Oh yeah,
live. I found that album today. I almost fell off onto the ground or out down the stairs or something because I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
yeah.
I mean, I just last night, right before closing time here in Atascadero, I went into Traffic Way Records, named after the street they're on, Traffic Way. Anyway, and I found a UK Parlophone Beatles album, and
Wow.
so I grabbed that, and then today I find this, from the cavern kind of a thing,
Nice.
years before the recording, recording contract. So I'm trying to say, I'm
Yeah.
just tripping over my own tongue. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing some little stuff with things like that. My good friend Jeff Davidson's here. How you doing, buddy? He's in the house. Okay. Novice Nick's here. Yeah, Novice is welcome to join us anytime.
Sure.
I know he's a big Beatles fan.
Yeah. Hello to everyone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a really fun chat. Hey, look at this. Groovy Lisa's here. Okay, Paulina says she's under the weather. I'm sorry, Paulina. We're sorry to hear that. Now you're welcome anytime. You do a great job co-hosting, and
You ever seen this one, guys?
What is it?
You ever seen this?
No, I have not.
It's from Israel. It's Beatles' Greatest. And this isn't unofficial. This is an official, and it's on Portrait Records.
Wow.
Wow,
Somehow
that's great.
Licensing. Yeah, I don't know how, but I've never seen it before. So
Right. Well, I had a little bit more to what I always refer to as my monologue. Anyway, everybody, Groovy Lisa's here. Groovy Lisa's here. And I want to highly recommend everybody go to Groovy Lisa's YouTube channel and watch it and subscribe to it. Lisa is a lot of fun. You will definitely enjoy it. Same with Paulina Angel Plus. Same thing. Okay, so I just had a little bit more. Hi Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. How's everybody?
Well, it's good to see you. So I was just going to say that the songs not entirely recorded at Abbey Road Studios were Something, which features some overdubs recorded at Olympic Studio in Barnes, West London. Okay. For I Want You, She's So Heavy, the band recorded the rhythm tracks in February '69 at Trident Studios, which I had visited when I was in England about 3 years ago, on Wardour Street. Okay, so skipping here, Abbey Road is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, a record that more than any other Beatles album stands the test of time when played as a whole. It's not an album to cherry pick a song here and a song there and skip around. You just play it, you put it on, you luxuriate and come together, and to finish with a little smile on your face as Paul sings about Her Majesty being a pretty nice girl on the closing hidden track. Okay. So the only other thing I'm going to really get into, but later, is going to be 10 things you probably didn't know about Abbey Road. And I'll just read through those after we've been on for a while. So anyhow, good to see you guys.
Talking about the sum of its whole, those were the days when albums were recorded to be listened to from beginning to end.
That's right.
The story, the travel,
the travels.
Yeah,
right.
It's the journey of the album. It's not just this one song. It's the continuing journey of the album. Now unless of course the bass needed to be put at one end of the record or the other, something. But most records were just recorded to be a journey versus
to be a journey from start to finish.
At some point it became, I'll have song number 3 over here, number 2 from, and I'll take the cherry pick over there.
The cherry pick over there. Yeah.
And then you say I'm a fan. How can you be a fan if you're cherry picking the artist's songs and not going on the journey with them?
Right, right. I'm gonna answer Dr. Rick real quick. I picked up this Parlophone LP last night, and it was a stereo, not a mono. I do have two monos. I have Help and I have Revolver, both UK Parlophone mono, and
Nice.
this one happened to be stereo.
Ah,
So anyway, yeah, but I was still excited about it because the UK albums are all better, the Beatles UK albums and the Beatles US albums.
yeah, and I think most of mine are US, but it's still good music.
Oh yeah, it's still good music.
Absolutely. I was
Yeah,
just looking at my Abbey Roads. I have 4 of them. 2 from 69, uh, 2012 and a 2019. And they say that 2019 is pretty good.
okay,
I don't recollect off, but from memory,
right,
I didn't sit down and listen to all 4, which was what I was going to
right,
do, but
right.
time,
Sometimes it's hard.
time.
You know, time gets in the way. And sometimes there's a lot of honeydews as well. We were doing
Yeah.
upholstery today.
Oh, okay, fun.
Yeah, yeah, with my little hammer tacker, we're stretching the cloth on the seats. My wife
Mhm.
found this really cool, like cane table with a big glass top, like almost 4 foot tall glass top, and
Right.
it came with 4 cane chairs, you know. And so we were doing a little work on that today.
Mhm.
And so anyway, my good friend Michael Chavez is here, and it was recorded live, all 4 in the studio at the same time. Okay. Paulina Angel Plus. Session fact: Paul and the guys had a disagreement about Alan Klein during a session for the album on Olympic. So the guys left, but the session wasn't wasted. Paul and Steve Miller did My Dark Hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I think Paul
Man
did some
of
drumming on that, I think.
Oh, did he really?
I think so, yeah. He was letting
Wow.
out some aggression.
There we go.
Well, you know, Eric, I actually enjoy Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I think it's a fun
Yeah,
song.
that's a fun song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Happy Go Lightly, telling a story of a psycho killer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, psycho killer. I love that. James Watson. Was that the day Paul and Apollo see Vermouth? Huh, I'm not sure. Caitlin, great fact, Paulina. I think Caitlin's on the verge of jumping on her herself. You never know. Michael Chavez. I understand that when CDs were first released, the early albums were the mono version. Yeah, you know, and I have some a couple of mono CDs myself. One is a rare collectible creamed Israeli gears. All the tracks are in stereo, and then they're all also in mono.
Back in those days in school, everybody was getting mono. So
Right, right. Every time, it's like David said it very well. Every time you listen to the AM station, you're getting it in mono.
yeah, that too.
Serial killer too, Eric. Okay. So anyhow, guys, let's see. David,
Wow, really?
did you pick up a lot of on reel to reel? That's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
cool.
I had a friend Terry that I grew up with, and we go back to about 6th or 7th grade. And when we both moved to California, he was living in Westminster. I was living in Long Beach, but he bought this reel to reel with just, I mean, it must have been 50 big tapes of popular music from some friend of his for like next to nothing. And man, that sounded good. We'd lay over there and listen to that. Man, that sound was great from those tapes.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody uses the reel to reels anymore, you know, but they had good sound.
You have some people on Instagram that they have their collections of them. So
Okay, now what is that?
This is what Caitlin was wanting. See if I can get the
It's
camera.
okay.
It won't. Boy, that too much light.
So David, where are you pulled over at right now?
Nope. There you go. Peanut butter cups.
Oh, peanut butter cup. Yeah,
She said she
I,
could be
I saw
bribed.
those. I saw those today. I was tempted, but I'd been eating too much junk the last few days. Had to draw the line somewhere. But let's see. I agree, man. A brand new world is great. So let me see. Let me get David Bianco here. David, can you hear me? David? Oh, he's having.
David.
David, can you hear us?
He looks like the guy that I bought some records from out of the boot of his car. Hey, David.
I knew it might be challenging for David because he's driving and he pulled over somewhere.
See there. Well, and he's gone.
Oh, he is.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess he was having troubles there.
Yeah. Just as I finished typing to him, he disappears. So anyway, I tell you what, guys, I've got this little list, 10 things you didn't know or probably didn't know about Abbey Road. And I want to go ahead and just read through that little list real quick.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Number 1, George Harrison was sitting in the garden of Eric Clapton's country house when he began writing Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah.
Number 2, all the Beatles were together in the recording studio for the last time on August 20th, 1969, when they finalized the mix of Abbey Road.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy, that's history right there. Number 3, according to George Harrison, the guitar parts on Sun King were inspired by the sound of Fleetwood Mac's big hit single Albatross.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard that before.
No, neither have I.
Okay, the word pataphysical, if I'm saying it right,
You did.
as heard in Maxwell's Silver Hammer, came from French avant-garde writer Alfred Jarry, who died in 1907. Paul became interested in his writing and discovered pataphysics, defined by Jarry as a science of imaginary solutions in one of the writer's later works.
Mushrooms sounds like mushrooms.
There's that psychedelic thing coming back to bite
I'm
us.
telling you.
It's perfect for the times.
Yeah, right.
Then number 5, Come Together was banned by the BBC in 1969 because it mentions Coca-Cola, and the company had a policy against product placement in songs broadcast on the radio. Boy, who would have guessed that?
Without getting paid.
Number 6, Octopus's Garden, written by Ringo Starr, was inspired while he was on board Peter Sellers' yacht in the Mediterranean. The boat's captain told Ringo how octopuses gather stones and shiny objects from the seabed to build gardens. Well, that's interesting.
More mushrooms.
Number 7, according to John Lennon, he asked Yoko Ono to play the chords to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata backwards to create Because. This is not entirely accurate, but it is very close to the overall sound of the Beatles song. Crazy. Number 8, Ringo explained the idea of the side 2 medley born out of necessity. John and Paul had various bits, and so when recording them and put them together, a lot of work went into it. The last section is, for me, one of the finest pieces we put together. Paul embraced the idea enthusiastically. He gave the second side sort of an operatic structure, which was quite nice before we got rid of those, and a good way to get rid of those songs anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window was inspired by an incident when one of the Apple Scruffs, they called them, girls always trying to get into the studio. Okay. The Apple Scruffs, the girls who hung out outside the Beatles' office, one of them climbed into McCartney's house via the bathroom window, then let some of the other girls in, who stole photos and clothing. Some of the lyrics for Golden Slumbers are based on Cradle Song, a poem and lullaby from Thomas Decker's 1603 comedy. Patient Griselle was the name of it. Patient Griselle. McCartney saw the sheet music left by his stepsister Ruth on the piano at his father's home in Liverpool. So that's where they got that idea. So anyway, that was the 10 things that I didn't know. I don't know if you guys did about that.
I'd heard some of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Not most of them.
Not most of them. Yeah. There's so many little tidbits out there on all of this stuff, you know.
And it goes to show you what they're drawing from all the time. I mean, writers, you know, they're just pulling from everywhere, you know.
Everywhere.
Antennas, you know.
They're pulling from everywhere.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Everything's free game.
Michael Chavez, thoughts on Giles Martin, Atmos mixes of Revolver, Abbey Road, and Let It Be. Anybody got some thoughts there? I think Giles Martin.
Mixed bag. I think some have been better than others. I've been impressed with some, less so with some other ones. So
yeah, that's how I feel too.
I did like the recent stereo of Revolver if you listen to it under headphones, because of this new technology and the way they're able to separate those parts.
Okay.
I was really intrigued by that. I know some of the ones in the past, it was kind of hit or miss. And I know Michael Nolan, shout out to Michael, by the way.
Yes.
I think he was not so much a fan of the Abbey Road remix, you know, so I think he had some criticisms about that one. So I think there's been mixed responses to all of them.
Yeah, I think Revolver has been his favorite so far. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I know he likes Revolver a lot. But we'll see what happens, you know, later on when we get things like you know, Rubber
Soul.
Yeah, who knows? I haven't heard any more about the red and blue compositions that were supposed to come out prior to Rubber Soul, and I haven't heard any more about Rubber Soul, so I don't even know what's going on. It's kind of like it's been faded into the background now.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk there for a while, and then I mean, even almost to the point of excitement, and then it went
real silent.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce and we both made videos on the red and blue compilations. And you know, the same here. I mean, I did a little Hackney Diamonds Rolling Stones video.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of my shorts, you know, maybe 12 minutes long or something like that. And you know, there's a lot of guest stars being featured on it, you know. I mean, Elton John plays on it. You know, Lady Gaga plays on a track, and on that same track, Stevie Wonder's playing keyboards. So they have a lot of cool stuff going on with that, and I keep predicting it's going to #1 on the charts, that album, and we'll see what happens. I might wind up with egg on my face, but so be it. It wouldn't be the first time. It probably won't be the last.
Yeah.
But
nothing
anyway,
ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, nothing gained. But I really like the first song, Anger, and I really like the second song. I just listened to it I think last night. Hey, look at Angela's here. Hi, Angela. How are you?
Hi, Angela.
Hello, music-loving people. Good to see you here. Thanks for showing up. We're talking about, among other things now, the show was basically on the album Abbey Road. We just kind of went through a bit on that. And now we're just kind of skipping around, and we're still open to Abbey Road. And I started to get into a little bit of Rolling Stones with Hackney Diamonds coming out.
Two strong tracks so far.
Yeah. And it was kind of surprising that the earlier one, Living in a Ghost Town, that the Stones released, you know, right before these two, basically, surprising that didn't make it on the album. I thought that would have been on the album too. But anyway, it sounds like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think Paul's playing bass on one of the tracks as well. So.
Yes, Paul McCartney plays bass on one of the tracks. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's history right there.
Bill, that's history. That's right. You hear these little rumors about, you know, Stones and remaining Beatles getting together. And just to see Paul doing that is kind of exciting, actually.
You know, someone made a point posting a little bit about like the more recent Rolling Stones track. And it's one of these things that, you know, anything we get from these veteran artists at this point, it's gravy, and it's nice to just appreciate it for what it is, because you know, the fact that the Stones, again, I made this point too, kind of similar to Metallica, you know, these guys could easily just remain a catalog band and a legacy
Yeah.
artist and just rest on their laurels.
That's
The
yeah.
Stones could tour on old albums if they want to just do the album cycle. They're not doing that. They're committed to remaining creative, and I'll applaud them.
No, not at all. I love that. I mean, what is this, like the first album in either 15 or 18 years?
Here in Louisiana, the Cajuns have a word for that. It's called lagniappe. It translated means a little extra. It's lagniappe. Yeah,
that's great.
They actually, because it's that important to their culture. So yeah, this is just a little extra. A little something special. Extra.
Well, just lagniappe. That's funny. Well, just think how many of the classic rock acts that have been around for 50, 60 years have been releasing new stuff. I mean, look at like Jethro Tull with what is it, Rock Float? I don't have it, but I have 4 or 5 of his albums. I saw Jethro Tull in concert, I don't know, 1970, something like that, Las Vegas Ice Palace. And what a spectacle. I mean, the guy at the time, I mean, hair practically down to his knees, dancing around, playing the flute. I mean, it's like nothing you'd ever seen before. You just stood there with your mouth open.
Oh yeah, his performances were incredibly athletic.
Oh my God, he was all over the place, wasn't he?
Yeah, wild man.
Wild man, that's right. But I mean, so many, Alice Cooper keeps going.
Yeah.
Yep.
The current configuration of Yes, I know Nolan's a big fan of the Mirror to the Sky album, which I thought was probably the best representation of this current incarnation of Yes, whatever you want to call it or not. But
right.
I thought that was pretty solid. The last McCartney album, McCartney 3, I thought was solid as well. So I mean, it's not, you got to appreciate these guys not just resting on their laurels. They don't have stuff.
No, that's right. I guess Ringo's coming out with something new. And
he's been doing a lot of EPs.
Yeah, exactly. So David, welcome back.
Sorry about that.
I started talking to you and I could tell you weren't hearing me, so I started to type that maybe you'd see it on the screen and you were gone.
No, I lost signal, so
Yeah. I was telling Royce that you look like that guy I was buying records from out of the boot of your car.
I've got yours in the boot of my car. Do you want to see it, Nick?
See, there you go. Yep, absolutely beautiful.
No, I really appreciated that list of 10 you had, Royce.
When I got to hear that, okay.
Yeah, when I was in London earlier this year, and I did the walking tour with Richard, we went and stood outside of Jane and Peter Asher's house.
Oh,
and that is where Paul was living, and there was a bathroom window in the back of it. We went around to the back of that alleyway, and that's where the gals had got into that created that song. So,
right.
Yeah. So it was funny.
That is funny. And you know what? I did the same thing it might be even 4 years now. We went to London. That was the first leg of the trip. We also went to Amsterdam. We went to Amsterdam. Then we also left Amsterdam and went to Venice, Italy. But in London, it was all about, music. We were touring all these places. We went to Trident Studios. We were searching down all these places. I stood in the alley where Bob Dylan recorded. Didn't record. He was being accused on Subterranean Homesick Blues of cussing, using curse words. So he stood in this alley with the song playing in large placards about this big, with the lyrics on them, and he'd get past the lyrics. He'd toss that one, then he'd toss the next one, then he'd toss the next one. And I was standing in that very alley where that recording was being made, and Jordan the Lion was holding up his phone, and we were watching Bob Dylan sing that while we could see the alley in the background. And I swear to you, that alley looked like the same places were being worked on that were being worked on like 60 years ago. I mean, it hadn't changed one bit, and that was fun to do that. Then we went to the flat owned by Harry Nilsson. Both Keith Moon and Mama Cass both died in. Right. He used to let all his friends, use his flat there in London. Yeah. And so that one was kind of sad. I made a little video. It's somewhere on my YouTube channel. I need to move it into this channel though, because it's music related.
Yeah.
So we made a few little things like that, and then I can't remember what happened. I wound up getting lost in London, ducked into a little cigar store and chilled for a while and had a drink. Anyway, it was a good time though. It was a good time.
Good.
I would definitely go back there.
There's a lot to see. There's a lot to. I really wanted to go to Liverpool this next visit to Europe, but I don't think it's in the cards, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'd like to go back there again. That was my first time just a few years ago, and it was interesting. When you got to Amsterdam, you stepped off that bullet train, and it was an ocean of bicycles. It just blew my mind. I mean, we're like 300 miles an hour going underneath the English Channel, flying through France, flying through Belgium. We get to Amsterdam, step out there, and there must have been like tens of thousands of bicycles parked.
And you better get out of their way.
You better get out of their way. I mean, that is the mode of transportation there.
It is. Same Sweden, very similar. Yeah. These
bikes, I mean, they reminded me a lot of them because they were so utilitarian, built to haul stuff and everything else. They reminded me of old World War II bikes. I mean, haul your ammunition on.
Yeah, some are electric now. Actually, my daughter has electric bikes in Vienna because there's hills and that. So so it helps power the bike up those hills. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. We were in Venice, and I heard a song I recognized for obvious reasons, spending my whole life playing it. But it was House of the Rising Sun, and it was a guy and a girl sitting in like a little doorway, and she was singing it, but in Italian, and he was playing House on an acoustic guitar, and I filmed that too. I should hunt some of this stuff down, and it was amazing to listen to.
Where's our friend Mr. Nolan tonight?
Well, I don't know. You knew his wife Kimberly had a heart attack.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, a little over a week ago, and then
oh God,
and he was at the hospital with her and stuff, obviously, and then later on, they had to go back to the hospital, and now they're home again as of early this week, I guess.
Oh, goodness.
So everything's been kind of up in the air with him.
I honestly don't know. Keep her in our prayers.
Thoughts and prayers for them for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Michael. Betty,
Michael, we're with you.
Yeah, buddy.
Betty and I have said that many times. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. We're pulling for you.
Absolutely.
And wow. You have to think about those things as we age, and I never thought about mortality until just a few years ago. I started realizing I really don't have that much time left.
Looking in the rear view mirror is a lot longer road than the front view mirror.
That's exactly right.
When you start making comments like, well, 40 years ago. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, 40 years ago.
You say it out loud and then you realize, wait.
40 years ago when my third child graduated. No,
right, exactly.
It's not that bad. I'm loving this new cup my wife bought me. I have another big one. It's this big around or bigger, but it doesn't have a handle on it. And try to take a drink on a hot day when you're driving.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So this one's you can use the straw, or you can close that hole and pop the lid open and use it.
Well, see, working in a restaurant, I'll grab just one of these for the car and off I go because I'm eventually right back at the restaurant.
Well, Eric, I want to thank Eric for his comments here. Yeah, I mean, I have no illnesses, and to tell you the truth, Eric, I go out and I work construction every single day. In fact, I can't figure out which hand to use. Okay.
He's not admitting.
Okay, right here.
Illnesses.
I burnt my face underneath the deck. I was cutting some old wood out with a Sawzall blade, and I was really having a hard time getting through this tight spot. The blade was like burning hot. And the thing kicked down and hit me in the face, and burnt me across the face here.
Yeah, it did.
Ouch. Yeah. But anyway, that's the only thing wrong with me right now.
Oh, sure. Got you fooled.
A likely story.
I don't take any pills.
Here, take some more.
I just had my blood pressure checked, and she said it was like I was a 19-year-old man with my blood pressure, real
Yeah,
low.
well,
Awesome.
It is if you cut off your face with the sawzall, your blood pressure.
Yeah.
It might spike.
Yeah, I mean,
No sign of a problem there.
no.
Well, that's true. But like I said, I'm still working construction almost every day.
Yeah.
My wife and I are both realtors too, but the construction's been my thing. I got my license in 1979, building homes, commercial buildings,
Nice.
apartment buildings. Built some 80-unit townhouse projects a few years ago. Some friends of mine with money came up from LA, and we built 3 subdivisions. And but they had the money, so they made most of the money. But anyway,
Yeah.
I got to run the job. They put me on salary like a year before the job even started, just to get it together, get all the subcontractors together, bid everything out.
Yep.
And so it was a pretty cool job. But lately, though, it's just been all hard physical work. So we're trying to transition into real estate full time, and so I just listed a house a few weeks back for a young man that used to work for me in my construction business, like in the late 80s. And him and his wife called me out. They had me and Betty list their house. We're Royce and Betty Eddings, the Eddings Group at Navigators Real Estate. So we listed the house, and they said, well, as soon as you get it sold, we need you to build another one. I said, okay, so that's going to work out pretty good. So we have somebody called me tonight that had looked at it once before, and she says she's going to kick her customers in the butt, and they're going to make an offer.
Wait,
And,
Royce, I'm sorry
yeah.
for interrupting.
No,
but
go ahead.
you literally have this couple coming and going.
Yeah.
You're selling their house and you're building them another. That's the
Right.
definition of coming and going.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
you butter your bread on both sides, don't you?
well, sometimes it turns out that way.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it's just like around the corner. I live in the West Hills of Atascadero. We're 11 miles from the ocean. Morro Bay, Cayucas, Shell Beach,
nice.
just up the road. And we've got so I live in a neighborhood that's small acreage. It used to be a cattle ranch. It got split up. Everybody bought a lot, had a custom home built. I built half my neighbors' homes over the years up here. And one of my recent sales was for some people whose house I built. So I built their home as a contractor and then got to sell it as a realtor. And
there we go again. Well, I'm so glad you're blessed.
Built it when I was young, sold it when I was old.
He said,
No, I really don't feel old.
When he meets people, he says, "See you on the flip side."
And he means it.
I don't feel one bit old, to be perfectly honest with you.
Speaking
I've been wanting to go back out and start surfing again. I hadn't been out in a couple of years, but something I always loved to do and would like to get back to it.
I'm surfing the net every day.
Well,
But-
Nick's looking for a
that's-
copy of Surfer Girl, so maybe there's something.
Yes, exactly. Which is, if you don't mind, I'm going to kidnap Dave here and wonder what other goodies did you get today or this weekend?
Right,
Anything of
right.
I got a
specific interest?
30th anniversary Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, nice.
I got a
Oh, nice.
Is that your
Original-
second one?
no, that's my first.
Oh,
I
okay.
got a blue translucent division bell.
Ah,
Pink
that
Floyd.
was on my list.
There you go.
But what on the list you gave me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you better go back and look again.
No, division
No, I
bell.
think-
Yeah, you didn't say blue translucent.
Oh well, you know.
I have a regular one for you. I do. I just hadn't told you yet.
Sure. What else did you find?
Some additional Beetle Horzoos. I got a Horzoo revolver. If you're interested in it, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So,
that Horzoo, now David had got me another Horzoo, the Yellow Submarine, I think it was.
No, I got you Magical Mystery Tour.
Magic. That's
Oh.
right. Imagine what. Oh, outstanding recording. Absolutely. And
Oh, yeah.
I think he's pressing them himself because it was
I
absolutely
wish.
gorgeous.
I wish.
Oh, sayonara.
No, but I got those out of that. We were at that same collection today, Nick. The same place I got your Horzu at. I was at their house again.
Oh, okay.
Eric, thank you. Yeah, catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world, brother.
Absolutely.
Great. So anyway, yeah, I'll be doing a video on my
that counts,
what
Manny.
I got.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. How many albums did you buy?
Probably around 40.
Wow. Oh, did you really? Wow.
Yeah.
Would you rob a bank?
My wife
rob a bank on the way over there?
Yeah. Is my wife watching this?
Yeah, no, I know. That's the scary part. You have to be careful what you say.
Well, my buddy that was with me, he got a Classic Records Led Zeppelin 3.
Oh, really?
Classic Records Led Zeppelin 3. Wow. Yeah, I've been finding a couple of cool things lately. I bought a Black Sabbath album. I can't even remember the name of it right now today with Ozzy. And I'm an Ozzy fan. It's just not the same with James Dio for me. Yeah. And I went to order 3 Black Sabbath albums about a month ago. Ordered them all from Tower Records, and I thought I had vetted them, and they were all Ozzy, but one of them was Ronnie James Dio. And I thought, well, maybe he's a lot better than I think he is. Everybody else seems to like him. I listened to it, I still didn't like it. It's just me. I mean, once you get used to Ozzy, you just not the same listening to him.
Yeah. No, different band.
Yeah, different band. Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah. I wonder if those things they were sitting right over here. Maybe I'll grab these real quick.
Here's speaking of Ozu, this isn't Ozu, but this is Japanese. Let's see if we got that.
I grabbed a couple of things that were pretty inexpensive today, and
that's cool.
One of them was $10. The honey drippers.
It's in really great shape.
You've got Robert Plant and.
Oh yeah. Sea of Love, right?
Sea of Love. That's exactly right.
Wait, what album is that?
That was
Honey Drippers.
Honey Drippers. Robert Plant, one of his.
I got it sitting right here. That's too funny. It's sitting right.
Are you kidding me?
I was actually looking for the floor in my cave this evening. Shuffling records downstairs to my other room.
That's a Black Sabbath there.
Black Sabbath, yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Technical ecstasy.
Would you tell those guys to cross the damn street already?
Are you talking about Abbey Road again?
Yeah.
I still have a little bit of problem. I have a green screen behind me, which is supposed to allow me to put these things up. But you notice if I move my hand too high,
yeah, right,
it starts to disappear.
Yeah.
You're one of those aliens.
I totally don't have it perfected yet. I keep trying, but I think I'm supposed to have some bright lights behind me shining on the green screen. You can't have any shadows or anything.
Or on you from behind.
So when I talk, I keep my hands close, because I can I get too far out there.
You're just an alien. We know. It's funny for the past 60, 70 years, it's been all hush hush. Oh, aliens. Oh, you're crazy. There's no such thing. But middle of COVID, the government finally says, you know what? There's aliens. Nobody gave a damn. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, yeah, we know. Okay.
It was like if there were aliens, they wouldn't tell us because they wouldn't want to scare us,
Oh, but there's technology evidence on this planet that cannot be proven any other way.
Well, the only time I ever run into any is on my show.
Yeah, well, true enough.
My co-host. We're all aliens.
You know what you have to do, Royce? You have to get those people who built the Sphere in Vegas to get up with a nice backdrop.
Yeah.
There you go. And then this one, it's the Beatles 1962, Hamburg, Germany.
Yep. There's a white one of that. There's 2 of those.
This is volume 2. There's a volume 1.
I saw those today. They were in that collection today.
But I mean, this has got, some cool stuff on it. I mean, this was right before, they were influenced a lot by Little Richard too.
Yeah,
they actually opened for Little Richard for a while, touring.
Yeah.
But this is early stuff right here, and I wound up reading through how they reproduced it, and boy, what an ordeal!
Yep. It took a while to get that together.
Separate all the tracks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Very interesting.
So you bought 40 albums.
Well, between the show and today, yeah.
Wow.
Five or the six of those are Nick's. So I just to be
Yeah, eventually.
I'm waiting
coming to my house soon.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a pre-purchase of Hackney Diamonds. I'm waiting for Celebration Day by Led Zeppelin to be back in stock. Led Zeppelin with John Bonham. Tower Records. It's out everywhere. You can't find it anywhere.
So,
But I did find it in
that's right.
CD, Celebration Day. And not only CD, but it also has the DVD and a booklet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked that up. I have the
Great
mother.
set.
I have a similar Zeppelin mothership to this, you know, with the CDs and everything.
Yeah, I have.
But I did order the vinyl also finally, and
Nice.
it's not, you know, it's not going to be an original. I had a chance to buy an original. It was down here at Traffic Records where I bought that Beatles album last night, and sat on the wall for a long time. Original pressing. It was 100 and something, I don't know. It was expensive. And then next to it was this 8 album vinyl album set of Jimi Hendrix that was made in 2000. So it's going on 24 years old, still had the shrink wrap on it. They had the velvet cover. You can only get the velvet cover now if you buy it in a CD box set. But this was, 8 album box set with the velvet cover with the shrink wrap still on it. And I keep saying, if I ever hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to open it on the air. You know?
I tried talking you into it one night.
Yeah, I know you did. And everybody was urging you on.
Yeah, we tried.
Right.
Yeah. Was it Vinyl Me Please just released pre-order for the Grateful Dead? Did you see that?
Which one? What Grateful Dead? That's ambiguous.
It was shoot, I'm trying to see. I didn't have it on my card or I would have ordered it. It was $479.
Oh.
Yeah. Eric Schultz is correct. This vinyl of the Beatles in Hamburg was at the Star Club where they had a residency. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the story of the Grateful Dead, 2nd edition.
So it's a multi-disc.
What
have we here?
Michael.
We have Michael Nolan.
Hey, Michael.
We don't tell you because you would know. Human. Hey, Michael. Good to see you, buddy.
Hope your wife's doing well.
Okay.
Hope she's recovering.
I hope everything's going well at home.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Is anybody interested in the LPs, the 14 LPs in the collection for the Dead?
Nope.
Sure.
Working Man's Dead, American Beauty. These are all colored vinyl. Live Dead, 1969. Europe, 72. Wake of the Flood. Terrapin Station, Reckoning, and Without a Net. So that's 14 records. And you can get it for, there's a discount, get it for almost $419.
Such a deal for you.
Nah, I don't. I have most of the records anyways. I don't think I'm going.
No.
But it'd be a nice collection.
Michael Nolan, I just want to say I did put a link up. It's close to quitting time, but I would really love to get your opinion on Abbey Road, the album that we just covered. So why don't you just jump on here, brother? And
I don't know if he has his fireplace going yet.
But yeah, he'd be able to give us a good summation of this whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can close Michael, you can close the show. Get on in here.
Get the last word.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, you have 3 of the Hendrix Velvet LP sets. Wow.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Wow. Is that the 8? Dr. Rick, is that the 8 album set?
No
with all of the lives and
time to share
other recordings. 50th anniversary box set. Overnight Sensation is out soon. Oh wow. Overnight Sensation is out soon. Okay. I only need 2 1970 Dead albums.
Hey, Royce, I've got to jump off to get going.
Okay.
I want to do this on the road, but thank you for the invite.
Oh man, I'm
Safe
glad you showed up,
travels.
David. Really
Good
appreciate it.
seeing
Safe
you,
travels,
David.
David.
Yeah,
Same here.
yeah.
Take care. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
All right, see you
thanks,
soon.
Have
buddy.
a great week. See
Okay,
you.
you
too.
too. You
Bye,
too.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Peanut Gallery.
All right.
How dare him
Well,
call you a peanut gallery? We love our chat.
absolutely. I love peanuts, cashews,
No, I do
almost any
too.
kind of nut.
Any kind of nut.
Yep. Look, there's 3 of them on screen now.
No kidding, huh?
Butterbumps.
Dr. Rick, Michael prayers for your wife, and that's how we all feel. Oh
Yeah,
man,
Absolutely.
that was a shock when that happened.
Yeah. Well, it just lets us all
Give
know
us the
how
bottom
fragile
line.
we all are.
Michael,
You know.
come in here and give us the bottom line. I know you're probably in your pajamas, chilling out with your slippers on.
Cup of tea.
But we don't care. We'll just see it from the head up, you know. All right. Well, it doesn't look
All
like
right.
Michael's
Well,
going to be
yeah,
hopping on.
Michael's tending to the missus.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
collect Hendrix studio boots. No kidding. You know, I've said for the last 50 years that Jimi Hendrix was my favorite. Absolutely loved Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And you know, and he's still right up at the tip top. And I may have more Hendrix albums than I have anything else. And he
How
only
many did you say?
I'm gonna guess 17, maybe I have.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And I know there's a lot more. He only made 3 studio albums, you know.
yeah.
Right.
And but there's just a zillion compilations, I should say.
Oh, and you can imagine going down the bootleg rabbit hole.
Oh,
Got-
Oh God, yeah,
Ain't not
that's
going
right.
anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple of tracks on the set I didn't have. Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah, I'm a huge fan. I think I'm almost 100% sure I have more Hendrix albums than any other band. And Led Zeppelin and the Beatles are close seconds.
I think
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
Beatles
I have
and
the studio
Stones.
album, so
Okay, Manny, thanks for showing up. Oh yeah, I have the studio albums. And then like I said, that big set. And then I've got, oh my God, 2 album set of the Jimi Hendrix doing the blues, 2 album set of Hendrix at Woodstock,
Jimi Hendrix.
and then Winterland, Monterey Pop.
Yeah, I only have
It just goes and goes and goes. I can't even remember what they all are right now, but there's a lot of them, and of course Jimi Hendrix smash hits, and I've probably worn out a dozen of those over the years, be they 8-track CD or
classics, all of them.
yeah, classics, all of them.
But it's great stuff. I mean, it's still
it is great stuff.
It's Jimmy,
It's Jimmy, yeah. Boy, what a sad early ending.
Yep. Lucky 27.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Dr. Rick's a big fan too and has 3 of the Velvet sets. Okay, just back. I'm exhausted, Royce, but wouldn't miss your show, brother. Thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Rest up, Michael.
I got caught up on the Pink Floyd show today.
Yeah.
And it was a good one. Michael Nolan, man, go check out Michael Nolan if you're not already a fan and subscriber. He's got a great show, fastest growing show I've ever seen in my life.
And man, when he does those deep dives, there's no one better as far as like the
no one better. Yeah, he really did a good one on Pink Floyd today. Yeah.
And that was hard to argue with as far as like, one of the all-time great albums, as far as as far as concept albums go, it's no debate for me. I mean, it's concept albums.
Yeah.
Number 1, easy, Dark Side. So
wow.
Yeah, it's great.
I got a problem.
Oh, what a rare stuff, Dr. Rick. That's awesome.
I didn't realize I have 37 Beatle albums.
Oh my God.
I have a couple of doubles and triples.
Yeah. No, I have at least 2 doubles, yeah, in the Beatles stuff.
I mean, talking about Abbey Road, I have like, the box sets. I have
4 right here.
Issues, so yeah.
Yep,
The
got 4
surplus
right
of
there.
Beatles.
Well, at least I only have 24 Stones.
Yeah, I have a huge Floyd collection too. Pink Floyd.
Do you?
Yeah,
I have quite a bit. I was gifted that 160 CDs about a year ago now.
Yeah, I remember
And
that. That
there was like
sweet.
7 Pink Floyd there.
Okay.
Nice.
But only Dark Side in the Wall were the actual store made
Yeah.
studio.
Oh.
The rest of them were copies that somebody burnt
yeah.
on there.
Okay.
And it was still got to hear some that I wasn't able to that I didn't have a lot of experience listening to.
Right.
Yeah, I have all the official sort of studio stuff on vinyl, and a couple of the live albums as well. So
Yeah, I'm missing a few. I have 14 of them.
Yeah, Eric, you're probably right about that. Well, we don't need to drag it out, folks, because
Yep.
longer we make it, probably the fewer views I get. I don't know. It just depends. Everybody's show's different,
We're up to 104. No. How many we got here?
Yeah, everybody, if you don't
15.
mind, hit that thumbs up like button.
Yep.
It encourages the algorithm to recommend us to people that are searching for content, and that always helps kick the show into high gear.
And let's get Royce to that all important 1K finally, so we can get this Jimi Hendrix box set open.
Get that Hendrix box set open.
Absolutely.
I mean, things like that fat,
Yes.
That's
well, anyway, guys. Novice Nick and Bruce, thank you guys so much. And
Bruce,
David came on for a while. That was awesome. And all my friends in the chat, you guys make the show. We really appreciate you. Got a fun chat here. The French Vinyl Addict. Hey, brother. Stumbled onto the live stream. We go live every Sunday night, music-based podcast. And I've been putting 1 or 2 shorter pre-recordeds on during the week. So, yeah, if you like what you see, do me a proper and subscribe. We're trying to grow the show. If not, just keep watching. Don't go away. But anyway, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. So we always ask. Anyway, so thank you all very much. We're going to be closing down. I want to finish getting through the rest of the comments. Once again, I want to thank the French Vinyl Addict for showing up here. Forgot to say hi, everyone. Just stumbled upon the live stream. I mean, I love to hear stories like that.
Yeah. Well,
Dusty Spins, how you doing, brother? Hi, Royce and panel. Yeah, we're seconds from shutting down here, my man. We try to go 6:30 to 7:30. It never goes under. Sometimes it goes over. Sometimes it goes over quite a bit. Thank you, Dr. Rick. Much appreciated.
Yes.
And my good friend Caitlin Stoddard. Caitlin's Magical Corner. What a fun show. Thank you, Caitlin. All right. And my good friend Angela, thank you so much for being here. Take care, everyone.
You too, Angela.
God bless.
Hop Frog just showed up. Hi, Hop Frog. So anyway, we're actually closing now, folks. Started at 6:30. Please join us again next week at 6:30. And that's what's going on in Royce's world today.
That's it.
And let's all show our Abbey Road albums if we can. Nick's got his somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to
over there.
Don't have to pull it out. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Take care.